What's up everybody, welcome back to my channel Mystic Watch, and today we got a brand new video. We're going to be reviving an old series of mine, Should You Summon or Should You Pull, of course. Now, this is all relatively straightforward if you guys haven't seen one of these videos yet. It's just me going over the current banners and using, any information that we have about future upcoming banners to determine whether or not the current banners to summon on are worth it, of course. Now, unfortunately, I am doing this a little bit later. Some people might have already summoned, but for those of you guys who haven't, here you go. Now we're going to be focusing on two banners here. We have the April Fool's banner and we have the Blazing Bash banner, but the main one is going to be the Blazing Bash banner. Now, what we're going to be determining is whether, I want to be very straightforward, don't summon on this banner unless you like the characters and you have pearls to blow. They're not amazing, they're good for PvE, but they're just not better than Blazing Fest characters, and for that reason you just shouldn't summon. They're a limited banner and I think they're cool and their animations are really fun to look at, but the units themselves without duplicates just don't do much, and they only become really good with duplicates because they can drop under 28. So with that being said, unless you have you're sitting on 1,000 pearls and you just want to, well, why not, let me go at it, at that point this video probably isn't going to help you out anyways, but just keep that in mind. These units just aren't that good, and you should really focus on Blazing Bash or Blazing Fest. Now this is where things start mixing up a little bit, because Blazing Fest and Blazing Bash are always going to be a tricky topic, and the reason for that is simply because it all comes down to what you prefer in Naruto Blazing. I prefer PvP over PvE currently, and that's simply because I don't know, PvE is just very stale and repetitive, and I do like just beating people. As simple as that, right? There's nothing else to it. I just enjoy winning and knowing that the person that I beat is not a robot AI. So because of that, I just really have fun with PvP. How do I keep on going to random freaking categories? And for that reason, I summon on PvP banners or Blazing Bash banners for that matter. Now, some other people might have a different reason to play PvP, or they might have the exact same reason, or you know what, they just might not enjoy PvP at all, and that's perfectly fine. PvE is definitely the most dominant content on this game, and it's existed before PvP even came out, and that's what this game is really about. So, with that being said, let's go into whether or not this banner is worth summoning for you. At the end of the day, these units aren't if you're going to summon for them, you're probably not summoning for their PvE versions or their non-Blazing Awakened versions, and you're trying to summon for PvP, and what it will determine if that's good or not is simply who's on the banner. Now you have the main units being Shisui and Itachi, and then you have three other units being Naruto, Haku, and Hashirama. Now in terms of who's the best on here, Hashirama, and the other four units in my opinion are just okay, with Naruto being pretty not okay, just being bad. So it's it's kind of tricky. They're not. The reason I say Shisui and Itachi are okay, I would say I'll call them good, right? But in terms of PvP standards, right, there are better units that exist than them. And I'm going off the fact that if you're watching this video, you're trying to conserve your pearls, meaning that at the end of the day, you're not gonna have a fully duped Shisui and Itachi, right? Because if you have a fully duped Shisui and Itachi, at that point, they're pretty good. They're great. But the issue is just that you need to have them fully duped. Actually, let me go into the notices and pull up why that is. So if we take a look right here, so let's take a look at Itachi. Itachi is the most prevalent when it comes to this. And it's that you have, okay, why does it click out? Freaking Naruto Blazing. Okay, so we're gonna take a look at his jutsu first, and I'm just gonna, I don't need to bother with the normal one. So it's 4 chakra, 5.8 times attack AoE, 30% chance of switch stealing for 2 turns, and or chakra stealing for 1 turn. That's a pretty good jutsu. The issue is the percentage. 30% is really low. 70% of the time you're not gonna hit it, so you don't want to rely on it. And the damage is just okay at that point, right? The damage isn't anything amazing. What's good about him is that He's literally just an upgrade of CM2 Sasuke, but CM2 Sasuke sees close to no play, and if you are playing him, you probably don't have a better option to run it, right? The reason you're playing him is because you don't have anything better. Now, like if I had all the units in the game, I would not run CM2 Sasuke ever. Now, Itachi, on the other hand, is fast range. His jutsu size is the same as CM2's, it's a fireball jutsu, and his stats are relatively high, right? He's got almost 40k HP, while also rocking 280 speed. Now this can go up to 310, putting him pretty fast. Now the issue ends up being is that you have these dupe abilities. You have one status ailment rate boost, which boosts the percentage of both his chakra stealing and his switch stealing by 10%, bringing it up to 40%. Now, just having this one copy is a big deal. The thing is, you really need this one as well. Like, you're at 50% chance to do switch seal or recovery seal. Now, the thing is, like, he's kind of like the jack of all trades, master of none, meaning that he can do neither one reliably, but if he pulls them both off, it's just, you know, you like win the game. If that makes sense. I wouldn't say you win the game. That's a little overboard. Now, like, you can't rely on his jutsu for either one, which is the issue. Now, Sasuke's, I believe, is 60% base. 60% base chakra recovery ceiling. And in my opinion, I would take that more often. Like, the fact that if you had no dupes to compare, his rate for sealing is double Itachi's. His chakra ceiling. So it's like, it's just that it's so much power is like locked behind these, that if you're on a budget, the unit without any dupes is just can't compete. Like, you can put him on a team, he'll do fine, but if you're talking about making it 4 on PvP, he's just not gonna cut it. Now, Shisui is similar, but to a lesser effect, right? He has, instead of having the rates being like locked behind his PvP stats, I mean his dupe abilities, he has damage on his jutsus being like, you know, you got a 2 multiplier. So put it this way, 4.2 times attack AoE, and you have a increased ninjutsu multiplier by 1, increased ninjutsu multiplier by 1, meaning that it goes from 4.2 to 6.2, meaning that it's an increase of 50% in damage. So, like, you're doing, you know, if you're doing 20k damage, you're now doing 30k damage, and that's a humongous difference. And of course, let's not even talk about the last dupe ability, which is increased damage dealt to bravery elements by 30%. Meaning that not only can he do a, you know, a boatload of damage to wisdom units, which are running around like crazy, you got Ino and Hinata, now you can also do damages to other Shisuis, Hakus, and Garas. So it's like, he becomes so good at max dupes, but without max dupes, he's just, you know, good. Now for that reason, I summon on these guys because I think their art is beautiful. And like, that's good enough for me, and I love the characters. Shisui is one of my favorite characters, and that could also be a reason to summon on these guys. So just keep that in mind. And he is, of course, actually faster than Hinata by 2 speed, so that's just something to note. But he's not as tanky. So what I do is, now you can get Shisui, but keep in mind that if you're not running a Haku or a damage reducer below him, Shisui will die relatively quick, because 30k HP is not a lot these days. Alright, you need to be rocking 35, 38, you know, at least like 32, 33k HP to be like a front row. I don't know, that's kind of incorrect. Like, unless you plan on switching him out immediately, he's not gonna do much. But at that point, if you're switching him out immediately, you're not using his normal jutsu. But if you use his normal jutsu, then he's stuck there for a whole nother rotation. So just keep that in mind, right? Now, the other units I wanted to go over are... Why do I go to emergency mission? I don't know. Sometimes I'm bad at life. Now you got One-Tail Naruto. One-Tail Naruto, not good. Simple as that. Rotate it out. Like, you don't see CM2 Sasuke played anymore. You don't see One-Tail Naruto played anymore. And of course, the people who run him just don't have anything better. So, like, a perfect team would not have One-Tail Naruto on it. Put it that way. Now, Haku is borderline good, like borderline okay to good, and Naruto's borderline bad to okay, right? So if you're thinking about like, you know, I need dupes of Haku, like, or I need Haku period, Haku is only really good with the first dupe. Don't yell at me. Haku is really good with his first dupe, but he has two 20 speed boosts on his dupes as well, right? Meaning, so he can go up to plus 40 speed, and all of a sudden that's really fast. So a lot of his power is locked behind that speed, but he does do a lot of damage. He's a little bit different, right? Haku has the health to back him up, and you don't need him in the front row, right? Like, he's good. Like, you just stick him in the back row, wait a rotation, and then unleash madness on any wisdom units. So Haku, in my opinion, is slightly man. I think I put Haku above Itachi, but below Shisui in terms of how good they are. But at that point, like, it's still like not good enough. So Hashirama's the only unit that is like, I guess, a must-have. But the fact that all the other units on this banner are just okay to good makes this banner not worth it. And in my opinion, you should just wait for them to come back on a different banner. Like, I wouldn't say that. You just not summon for these units. Like, you don't want to summon for these units. You want to obtain these units, like, by chance when summoning for other units. If that makes sense. Like, you want to be going for your Hinatas, Lees, Hashiramas, and then be like, oh, I got a Haku. Cool. I'll toss him on a team sometime. Like, you don't want to be like, yo, I'm so glad I'm summoning for Haku. They're just not that good. Now, the other banner I already went over. What am I doing? So, I already explained the April Fool's banner. Now, the last thing, just before I end off the video, is that you have the Blazing Fest banner approaching soon. Now, we don't know if it's next week or the week after, but it will be double Blazing Fest, Madara and Kaguya, right? Stage 6 path. So keep that in mind that it is coming up, and we don't know anything about them. But Blazing Fest will always be better in PvE versus PvP, and the Blazing Fest units, you know, are sometimes, or most of the time, actually pretty solid in PvP. You have your Jubitos, you have your regular Obitos, you have your Stage 6 packs, Naruto, Utakata, Kazekage Gaara, and, you know, Rinnegan Sasuke, the last Naruto, Shinden Sasuke, Kakashi, Sakura. All those guys are good enough to put on a team in PvP. So, you know, you can make a solid PvP team out of those guys. Now, I'm going to be ending off the video here. Let me know if this video helps you guys out at all, and what would you like to see going forward. Thank you so much for watching. If you're new to the channel, consider hitting that subscribe button, like the video, and comment down below. And I'll see you all next time. Peace out.